Internal Revenue Service IRS Tax News. Understanding taxpayer rights, the right to retain representation. IRS Tax Tip 2021-161, November 1st, 2021. Taxpayers have the right to retain an authorized representative of their choice to represent them in their dealings with the IRS. Taxpayers have the right to seek assistance from a low-income taxpayer clinic. There's a link to that here. If they cannot afford representation, this is one of the fundamental rights of the taxpayers as outlined in the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. There's a link to the Taxpayer Bill of Rights here too. Here's what the right to retain representation means to taxpayers. Taxpayers have the right to retain authorized representative of their choice to represent them in their dealings with the IRS. Taxpayers who are heading to an interview with the IRS may select someone to represent them. There's a link to may select someone here. Taxpayers who retain representation don't have to attend with their representative unless the IRS formally summons them to appear. So a representative, in this case, generally acting somewhat like an agent. You might be familiar with this in more like a legal type of setting. So if you have to have some kind of legal issue, you might be able to hire an attorney acting as an agent in that case, possibly being able to make some decisions on your behalf without your presence, so you're not sitting there in court all day. You could have similar types of situations when being represented or representing you, or hiring an agent to help represent you with regards to tax matters with the IRS, allowing possibly for you to free up some of your time and allowing the agent possibly to make some of those decisions on your behalf. So taxpayers who retain representation don't have to attend with their representative unless the IRS formally summons them to appear. In most situations, the IRS must suspend an interview if the taxpayer requests to consult with a representative such as an attorney, certified public accountant, or enrolled agent. So you could say, hey, stop, I don't know what you're talking about. I want to talk to somebody like an attorney, a CPA, an enrolled agent to help me out with this process. So any attorney, CPA, enrolled agent, enrolled actuary, or other person permitted to represent a taxpayer before the IRS who's not disbarred or suspended from practice before the IRS may submit a written power of attorney to represent a taxpayer before the IRS. So similar kind of process here. You'd be hiring them, you'd be taking them on in essence as an agent, having a power of attorney, giving you that kind of agent-client type of relationship, allowing them, that individual, to act and make a certain range of decisions on your behalf, at least with regards to the representation of this issue with the IRS. So taxpayers have the right to seek assistance from a low-income taxpayer clinic. If they can't afford representation, they can find an LITC near them by visiting Low Income Taxpayer Clinic's page. There's a link to that here on irs.gov, or by calling IRS toll-free 800-829-3676, 800-829-3676. Low-income taxpayer clinics are independent from the IRS and the Taxpayer Advocate Service, which makes sense because you're being represented before the IRS, so that they need some kind of independence there for that representation, you would think. So these clinics may charge a small fee to represent individuals whose income is below a certain level and who need to resolve tax problems with the IRS. LITCs can represent taxpayers in audits, appeals, and tax collection disputes before the IRS in court. In addition, LITCs can provide information about taxpayer rights and responsibilities in different languages for individuals who speak English as a second language. More information can be found at the links below. Publication 1, Your Rights as a Taxpayer. Publication 4134, Low Income Taxpayer Clinic list. Taxpayer Advocate Service. There's links to those items here, and there'll be a link to this in the description.